Get mantra and meditation MP3s at jasongallant.ca. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the enlightenment process and awakening. And the difficult part about guiding people through a video, of course, is that you're dealing with people at many different stages of their evolution. And I find the curse of the mind, there's a lot of blessings of mind, but the curse of it is that the mind wishes to overcomplicate things. And also, of course, jump ahead of many different steps in the evolution before one is ready. And a classic example of this is people say, hey, Jason, or they'll go to their teacher or whatever and say, hey, what do I do about this situation in my life? Or what do I do about that? And I'm not saying there can't be wisdom that moves in a certain way in life, like dealing with life's rules, the laws of life in the universe. But in the end, if we're going to talk about your evolution, we have to understand where is your action emerging from. And the first step towards moving with truth in your life is working with the intellect. It's realizing that you are not your thoughts. You know, the passive thoughts that move through your mind constantly throughout the day. It's almost like a television channel or a radio station you can't turn off. If you think that you are these thoughts and you have to follow every thought in every direction, you are not ready to start addressing the deeper emotional or physical things. For the most part, it's really this headspace has to be addressed first if we're going to speak in the context of the spiritual journey. Now, I've talked about mantra practice and pranayama, like breathing practice. These are tremendously helpful in establishing mastery of the intellect, mastery of the mind itself. And I highly encourage you, if you have not tried so far, for you to do the bellows breath for 5 minutes and see how different you feel, how different your mind feels. And I do have a video on this channel of the bellows breath, but it is mind-blowing. Get it? That's fine. I just made that up right there. That was pretty hilarious, actually. But it really is, it's mind-blowing. I remember the first time I did pranayama, I was like, where has this been my whole life? And I had done a lot of martial arts where there were certain breathing techniques, like some people call it the Ujjayi breath and things, for blocks and punches and things. But when I did pranayama for the first time, such as fire breath and then deep breathing after and so forth, it was like night and day, my experience of this moment. It was all of a sudden the mind fell to the background and there was just this expansiveness through the mind that was devoid of thought. And there were some thoughts that are around the background or the outskirts, but it was an amazing practice. So really my point is I didn't have to think myself to silencing thoughts, right? And that's what people usually do. They're like, oh, I'm still thinking. Am I thinking now? Am I not? Like, so thoughts, like they're having tug of war with thoughts that are moving towards no thought and thoughts that are part of the passive thing. So another thing I've done is also talked about passive thoughts, or the thoughts that are always entering and exiting your mind. And then there's active thoughts, which are the thoughts that you're choosing to have in this moment. But either way, mastery of the mind or the intellect is imperative. It is imperative before you start to try to figure out everything in your life. I find people try to overstep this. They try to basically skip this step in their spiritual evolution, and therefore there's nothing but confusion and taking things out of context and misunderstandings because they're not free in their mind yet. They haven't realized that freedom. They haven't realized, one way to put it is that they are already free because they are focusing on their thoughts and thinking that they are their thoughts. This is the ignorance. So after the thoughts, you realize the truth of thought and the truth of who you are, then there will be experiences that become more powerful. Some of them are painful, some of them are pleasurable, but a new realm of experience is open to you because it's always been there. These energies or these feelings or sensations have always been there, but because you no longer have the wall of the mind blocking things out, then these things become more obvious and more powerful for you. And this is where wisdom becomes possible, because now you're actually paying attention to the forces that are happening within you and without of you, right? There's clarity. You're actually here. Before, you were living in a dream bubble. You were living in thoughts and ideas and opinions and all this. And we see this with these people nowadays, you know, this whole craziness on the internet. These people are just living in a dream bubble constantly. They're not really here, which is why they cannot see wisdom. They cannot experience truth or wisdom. And without letting go of the mind and being here fully, you will never establish wisdom in your life or grow in wisdom. Now, I'm not saying you automatically understand what force means what or how to react to what, but at least you start to ride the bicycle of the soul. You start to ride the bicycle of truth and find out how to keep upright and how to fall down, how to maybe, you know, pedal the bike with training wheels at first and then maybe take the training wheels off. This learning or this wisdom accumulation begins at that point. But this cannot happen if you do not surrender the dream bubble of your thoughts that are constantly running around and you believing that you are those thoughts. That's why all the sages say, here, here, return to here, the now, this moment, right? It's not about this thought, they're saying this moment so fully that it is devoid of you identifying with your thoughts. It's okay for thoughts to be there, but when you realize you are not those thoughts, then you are also aware of other things or other sensations or experiences that may be here at the same time. But if you think you are the thoughts, that becomes an exclusivity agreement where you are nothing more than thought, but not the sensations. It's almost like you've severed your head from the body and not experienced anything below. Some of you will understand what I'm saying, some of you will not. Just, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just try breathing. Go to this channel, try the bellows breath for 5 minutes, and you will start to touch or taste what I'm talking about. So accumulation of wisdom, there's no shortcut for it. You have to be willing to let go of your dream first before the accumulation of wisdom can begin. And it's scary at first for people who have lived in the dream for so long and they've become attached to the dream. But at some point you will become bored of the dream. And I'm trusting that if you're here tuning into this channel in this video right now, because it's not because of the overwhelming popularity of this channel, because that's not what runs this channel. There's not a lot of popularity going on here. If you're tuning in, there's no coincidence. There's a reason. You are ready to relinquish the dream. You're saying, I'm bored of it. It's done. I'm done with this now. Now I wish to amass truth. Realize the truth that I am. How does truth move in this world or this level of reality? So welcome to freedom. So dare to take the first step. Realize you are not your thoughts or your opinions or point of view. These are just sensations moving around in your mind. This is the first step. So I hope this helps you with your spiritual journey. Take care for now. Are you interested in working with a spiritual teacher in a formal setting? Well, perhaps the Wisdom Life School is for you. If you're interested in checking out what the Wisdom Life School is all about, just go to aratima.com.